It's finally time. You guys know what we're here to do. Let's just get right into it. I didn't really anticipate how big this box was going to be. This is going to be hard to record, at least the unboxing part. But as you can see, tape still, sealed and whatever. And now, oops. And just like that, tape unsealed. Okay, how am I going to do this? I probably should have thought about how I was going to do this before I turned on the camera, but I did not do that. Well, let's stand this back up for a second. And I scratched up the box a little bit, but oh well. That's okay, probably, I guess. And I'm knocking things over in the corner, but that doesn't matter. We'll deal with that later. I really did not think about how I would show this on camera. This is a very tall box, but here we go. We got each of the individual little things in there. Let's start with the smaller one at the top. Let's slide this out. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see this. I did not think this through. But once we get it down to these smaller boxes, we can move this big thing out of the way, and you can see what I'm doing better once I get to that part. Yeah. Alright, big, huge, massive box. Go off to the side for now. And save 3D tutorial because 3D tutorial fell over. And here we go. We have all of these cool little individual boxes here. Let's stack them up a bit more normally. Alright, so let's start with this one because it's the smallest one, I think. It's probably going to be most of the accessories and stuff, if I were to guess. Or not. It could be Death Cobra and Drill Horn. Alright then. I guess we're opening up Drill Horn and Death Cobra first. There's plastic shell thingy there. Ooh. And there they are in there. Let's grab Death Cobra here. And his little gun thing that is also in here. These helicopter blades that, of course, do the spin. Ooh. And then we got Drill Horn here. And of course, it is Drill Horn, so he has the drill. I guess I can really quick just attach this here. Drill on there. And then I believe one would assume helicopter blade goes on there. And this gun probably goes down here. It's been a while since I've looked at Death Cobra's animation model. I'm going to assume it goes on the bottom there. But yeah, that's first two figures down, multiple to go. Let's put this little plastic shell thingy back in, because there's no way in heck I'm throwing away any bit of this packaging, because that's just how I am. I'll worry about organizing them back into how they were later. And I'll move Death Cobra and Drill Horn to the side for now. next smallest box. Box number 2. This one is big enough to have writing on it. Transformers, Hasbro. It has the Haslab thing and a Cybertronian letter. All of these have one of them on it. I actually don't know which Cybertronian letters these are, because I would have to go on to the TF Wiki and translate them. And I don't feel like doing that right now. Maybe I'll do it later. I don't really think there's not much meaning to it, so I'm just not gonna bother. Anyway, next 2 figures. Oh wow, it is in fact 2 more figures. We have Kill Bison and Jaruga. Alright, plastic shell out of the way. Here we have our Kill Bison without his tank turret. I'd assume that's in another box, because Jaruga's kind of taking over the rest of this. And yes, I always call this character Jaruga because that is how it's pronounced in the anime, and there's a lot of confusion for what it's supposed to translate into English by, so I just use the Japanese pronunciation, so I'm technically saying both. Haha. Ding. And yeah, so we got the main vehicle here, and the accessory pieces here. Oh, drop things. We got his little missile pod accessory thingies here. And this part of Liokaiser, his butt and upper leg, because it would be, yeah, all combiners need to have some external parts to function. And let's see here. I don't remember if they go on the sides or the front. I'm gonna say they go on the front. I'm gonna put these on real quick. Watch me be wrong or something, but I'm pretty sure they go on the front. Yeah, they go on the front, I think. I'm pretty sure, probably. And I'm not gonna bother with attaching this in alt mode yet. We'll do that later. So move these all off to the side again. Kill Bison and Jaruga all go over here. And put the little plastic thingy over this. Actually, which way was it on here? I think it was like that. Cool, we're good. Box number 2 down. Next box. Time for next box. We're getting onto the larger ones here. All that's left are the jets and the accessory pieces. So what do we got in here? Alright, we have the instruction book, which is literally actually a book this time, and fully in color. So I don't have to you don't have to unfold it like a map, and it also looks nice. My faith in Hasbro making decent instructions, on the other hand, that are helpful, that's a different story. But we will deal with that when we get to it. I'll move that down here. And we have the infamous white paper that comes with every Transformers thing ever. Usually I just recycle these or throw them away or something, but this is the Haslab Liokaiser special weird paper thing with weird bits of copyright and warnings and crap on it. So it's a special one. Even though it's literally exactly the same, I'm pretty sure, but I'm keeping it anyway for reasons. And here we have all of the accessories in here. I don't want to tilt this up because some of these aren't really fully held in. We've got all of the little chain pieces, all of the little spear bits, the little spinny blade thingies, and the stand adapter on here. And then, oh wow, these are all just right in here. I can just pull this out, and all that, stand adapters, chain thingies. Yeah, I'm not gonna take these out yet because lots of tiny pieces, and I don't have places to put them yet. But then the other stuff here is the display stand pieces and parts and stuff, and we're just gonna leave those in there for the time being because I can't deal with that now. And then of course, final box, all 3 of the jets, Kill Bison's turret, and all of the breast animals. Unfortunate name, but whatever. Take the clam shell thingy, box plastic thingy off. Now let's get into things. Let's grab Kill Bison's turret first and put that on him real quick. I believe, I think this is probably the front, maybe? I don't know. Does it go this way or does it go this way? I don't know. I think it's this way. I could be wrong. Maybe it's this way. Yeah, this tank mode is kind of... the sacrifices one has to go through for having to turn into a stable leg and be very large. And then let's get out the little friends here. Here we have Cobra Breast, I believe his name is, or whatever. I think I could just transform most of these just by looking at them. These are all probably pretty simple. Fold that out, put that head out. You have little cobra snake guy thing. But, yeah, I guess might as well attach these to their friends before instead of having them all laid out. This probably, yeah, I think this just attaches down here or something. Yep, that just goes in right down there. And then let's grab the one for Jaruga, I believe. I think this is Jaruga's. Or this is just drill horns. Oh, this is drill horns, sorry. I believe you just stick it in the bottom of drill horn. And that's really all there is to it. Because I don't think there's a different attachment point in alt mode. Yep, that all went in there. We're good. And then I believe this is the one for Kill Bison. Yes, it is. Bison breast thingy. And then you just do the same old thing here. Stick them in the bottom of the tank. Sorry, most of this isn't really on camera. Can you tell I've never done this before? But yeah, you just stick it in there. I said stick it in there. Stick it in there, please. Ah, the leg got unfolded. There we go. Give me a moment here. Okay, there we go. Got it in. And then, let's grab Jaruga's. This one will probably be a lot easier because he just has a very simple hole in the bottom. Just stick it in and wahoo. Helps if you line it up. There we go. Stuck it in there. There we go. And now we have our final 3 members. We have Guy Hawk. Let's fold up the wings. Give it something to grab onto. We have Guy Hawk here. Very nice. Very nice indeed. And I'll grab his Best Force member thingy while we're here. Just clip that on. And fold down his landing gear, because that is a thing he has. Cool. And then next we have Hellbat. Right here. Fold up this little in there. Very nice yet again. Grab Komori breast. And yeah, just stick it on the bottom again. as usual, as you do. And, of course, oh yeah, landing gear, almost forgot. Landing gear. Finally, we have the leader of the team, Liokaiser. And here. Oh, come on. Fold up those. There we go. There he is. I don't know if he'll... Yeah, I'll just leave them like that. I like them facing back like that. And of course, get my burst, whatever it's called. Oh, crap. I dropped it on the floor. Whoopsies. Yeah, got him. And just like that. There we go. And fold down landing gear. Wahaha. And that is all of the things. Just put this back in here and close it up and move it with the others slightly off screen. Actually, I'll just leave this up here. This will surely stand up and totally not fall on me, hopefully, probably, maybe. And here we have the full group in their alt modes. Let's see if I can angle this down a little bit better. There we go. And then got that. And we got that there. Actually, let's move the instructions out of the way. Okay. And then Death Cobra in the back. Oh, wow, I just now realized you didn't see most of that. Whoops. Come on there. Can you tell I'm not used to doing this and I don't know what I'm doing? There we go. We got the whole group here. Yeah. Very cool. Very excited. Ding. Oh yeah, also, that's there. I'm going to take a moment to learn how all of these guys work, and I'll get back to you in a moment. And here they all are in their robot modes. Wow, man, I just don't know what to say, man. This is some good stuff here. I don't really know what to say. Can you tell I've never done this before? I don't know what I'm doing. I've transformed them all into the robot modes, messed around with them a bit, put them in a big group pose, and yeah, I guess might as well individually look at them a bit and their little animal pet friends. Drill horn. It sure is a drill horn. It is a very nice drill horn. And I did have a little bit of issues with some of the four-legged ones. I think especially Jaguars here. I had a little bit of issues getting the legs out. They were a little tight, but that's no big deal. And of course, I wanted to show everything separated in its robot modes, but that would require me to show the massive gaping holes in everyone's chests. It's not as bad with the arm bots and with Liokaiser, just all of the flyers really, but with Jaguar and both of the legs, yeah, that doesn't look great. But what can you do? There's only so much that the physical toys are capable of recreating. at least they did their best to make the most of them look decent with their breast animals detached. And I guess I'll go ahead and reattach them real quick to go over them after I just gave you a quick look at them all. There. This is drill horns, as I was showing a moment ago. Not much to say here. Most of these are pretty simplistic. And this is Guy Hawks. Again, not a whole lot to say. It is a bird, a hawk, whatever. And Joduga's this little guy. It is, in fact, a little guy. These are, in fact, all little guys. And then we got Liokaiser here. Well, this isn't Liokaiser, it's his little breast animal, chest animal, pet, friend, guy. And we have Cobra here. It is, in fact, a little snake dude. And the only one that has the Japanese sounding name, Komori breast. And this one actually has the ability to flip the head up and bring the tail back to do flying pose. But I'm not going to be doing that. He will just be standing there. And then finally, Kill Bison's. Very nice. Not a whole lot to say about them, just in general, really. They're a cool gimmick and way better than most other master gimmicks that G1 had. It's like all of the best parts of Target Masters, but with more. Yeah. I'm gonna reattach them now real quick. And there we go. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? Yeah, I should probably... Actually, I have an idea. How about I get my previous ones for comparison real quick. Alright, let's start with Drill Horn here. Just to make it quick and simple on me. Because he's already on the edge here. But here he is with the old Combiner Wars one that I've had for years now. Such a big difference. Amazing what you can do when you're not doing basic repaints of the same 4 characters over and over again. Combiner Wars. Also, I had to change the pose for Guy Hawk. He can't do the... Actually, I'll move these guys back. Give me a second. Alright. Got my Combiner Wars Guy Hawk. I couldn't do this one with the arm crossed pose because the breast animal, chest animal thing, it's too big for his arms to reach past. But yeah, yet again, massive difference. So much nicer in basically every conceivable way. Wow, who could have seen that coming? And then comparing the Hellbats, really quick here. Combiner Wars yet again on the right, new one on the left. Very nice, very impressive. I'll do a little more thorough comparisons after in a later video where I'll probably do individual reviews on each of these guys. Also, I just remembered that I had Drill Horn and Kill Bison on the wrong sides. Whoopsies. But here's the Combiner Wars, Kill Bison, and the new one, both doing my best approximation of the funny pose that he does every time he transforms. If you get the joke, you get the joke. Not a whole lot to say there. Kill Bison is definitely the weakest of the set for me, but then again, there's not a whole lot you can really expect from a Kill Bison figure. There's only so much a thing that is also both a leg, literally the main weapon of the combined mode, and all of the other stuff a Breast Force member has to do. Also, his head doesn't like to clip in. I don't want to force it too much. Actually, my first time transforming these guys, I didn't realize there was an inner panel on Guy Hawk's leg that you had to open up. So when I extended this leg for the first time, I pulled it off the mushroom peg. I was very scared for like 5 seconds. But it's all back to normal now. Everything's cool, and we're good to go. And then, of course, Joruga and Death Cobra here. This is their first time getting modern toys. Joruga, just because they didn't bother to include him. Actually, wait. Yeah, I'll just talk about them now. Yeah, Joruga hasn't had a modern toy outside of that one random Creo from a while back that I don't have. And this is Death Cobra's first toy, period. This is just a character that was made for the show to die in one episode, and yeah, it shows. This design was not created to function as a real toy. So 90% of the helicopter is just hanging off his back. But we forgive him. He's a bonus, an extra little guy who is very nice looking and very cool, and I like him. And then finally, let us compare the Leozacs. So here's my BotCon Leozac, and here's the new one. This is by far my favorite character from the team, so I'm glad that this did such a good job. Of course, it did have some sacrifices, like the shoulder joints and the legs on the bottoms of the feet here, but other than that, for having to be a combiner torso, this is a very nice indeed. And then obviously the only other modern Leozac we've ever had was the BotCon toy, that was a repaint of Energon Starscream. When I first got this, I got it, put it into robot mode, and I've almost barely touched it ever since. This is probably the most this thing has moved in like 3 years. But yeah. Now that I have this Leozac, this is going to be my Wings Universe Lyzac. I'm probably going to have some goofy stuff to with these two together now that I can call one of them Lyzac. Because this is the closest we've ever had to a modern Lyzac. We managed to get ourselves a Death Cobra, but sadly Lyzac was not in the cards, and I doubt she ever will be at this point. But hey, we got Death Cobra. That's a win. Too bad Lyzac wasn't there too, but I can deal with that. I will be able to live with it. I guess it was mostly because she didn't have a official alt mode in the manga, and so this will be my best approximation for her for the time being, and I doubt it'll ever get a better replacement. But for now, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Wow. But yeah, that's really all there is to say there. And now I guess there's not really anything much left to do beyond combining all of these goobers to create the Liokaiser. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. It has been the first time I've been able to combine a Liokaiser in some time. Not by some time, I mean literally ever. Because, yeah, I'm not even gonna bother pulling up the crappy core for the Combiner Wars Liokaiser, the dumb Skylinks repaint. I have that, but I'm not gonna dig it out. It's buried in the bottom right corner shelf. I didn't even bother pointing it out last video. But, just allow me to cut for a moment and figure out how to put these all together, and I will be with you in a moment once again. Alright, I've gotten every part of the team into their individual combine modes, and I figured it'd be fun to do this part on camera. So, take Kill Bison and Joruga here, and then I'll show this from the back. You just slide those in, just like that. And then you take Drill Horn and slide that in through the back again, just like that. And there you have two legs. And then we take the core with Leozac, and then this should Okay, so it goes into here, slides back. Come on. This is going to be hard to do on camera. Apologies. It's not wanting to... I'm going to have to do this off camera, sorry. Okay, there we go. I got it. And then, after that, we take Skyhawk. And I believe we should just be able to slide it down like that. On number 1, straighten out the fingers. Give it a somewhat convincing fist there. And then we take Hellbat here and slide him in like that. And hold that back. And then open his the fingers there a bit. And there we go. That is the complete Liokaiser. Oh, I guess you can take the Kill Bison cannon here from his tank mode. Give him that as a gun. I'm not going to get out any of the other extra accessories. Oh wait, I just realized there's an entire back piece I didn't plug in. I am very excited and not paying attention very much, if you hadn't noticed. I am very excited and not paying attention very well. I completely forgot to lock in the rest of Jaruga. Give me a moment to fix that. Okay, there we go. That's better. Sorry, I am very disorganized and just in awe of the thing that is in front of me at the moment. I apologize. As my most anticipated figure just ever, this is kind of a huge thing, and I'm not really good at doing this as my first attempt with no real preparation or editing or anything. Yeah, I'm not, this is probably pretty terrible, but anyway, as anyone who's watched Transformers Victory would know, Hellbat was not originally meant to be part of the Combiner in universe, at least. And they were originally planning on replacing him with another. And this, although it never ended up coming to be in universe, in the show. And thankfully, with the power of new toy, we finally get to see the hypothetical design for how that would look. So if we take Death Cobra here and clip that in, here we have the optional alternate configuration with Death Cobra for what their original old concept in universe was meant to look like. Yeah, I'll just flip it back. There we go. And there we go. I'm not getting out any of the accessories for this video, and just generally, this is a very quick overview of all of the things. So honestly, I'll just detach Death Cobra and put Hellbat back on. And with that all being said,